Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video, and it's time to talk about the second anniversary. We got a ton of cool stuff, and also somehow some people are still hating. But the very first thing I want to do is take a look at the units. That's what we're all most excited for. Maybe a little controversial too, but again, we'll get to that in a second. Let's look at our girl Cinderella. Now, I was really hoping she wasn't going to be a Burst 3. Inevitably, she turned out to be a Burst 3. I mean, I think that's just what they do with all the really big flagship units, right? Burst 3 is the most exciting thing, but I just feel like we have so many Burst 3s. At least she is a defender. Definitely fits with her design, of course. I think if we got a Burst 1 defender, that would have been better just from making teams and choices, things like that, from a pure mechanical point of view. But again, they want her to be a Burst 3 because she's a big deal unit, right? But anyway, she is an electric unit with a rocket launcher, although a very unique rocket launcher, which we'll talk about as well. It says she uses a decoy and gains buffs. So maybe that means the glass slipper taunts, and then the more damage it takes, the more buffs she gains. We don't know exactly what that means, but something about this decoy will give her buffs, and I feel like it's got to be the more damage it takes, the more she gets buffed, but I don't know, we'll find out. It would be interesting, we can't exactly see what's happening on screen here, but it would be really cool if she put out some kind of little thing that taunted damage away from her, or maybe she just absorbs it with a shield from the glass slipper. I don't know, we'll find out exactly how that works. We'll see her kit soon, I'm sure. It says her burst uses the buffs to then deal significant damage. So again, don't know exactly how this works, but maybe she removes all the stacks and then deals damage based on how many stacks of buff she has. Although I feel like probably the more likely scenario, maybe she just does a big attack, which is inherently stronger because of all the buffs that she gained. It's hard to see exactly what happens here. We have a very limited view, but it looks like she still has a lot of buffs after her burst, so I want to say she probably doesn't lose the buffs when she bursts, but at any rate, somehow she gains more damage from her burst based on how many buffs she got previously, which seems related to her other skills. And it also looks like she has some kind of heal ability, because we have this kind of symbol up here on her skill, or maybe it's something that adds more max HP. Maybe she has something similar going on to 2B as far as dealing more or increasing max HP. But I think it would be good if she heals herself, or maybe she heals the whole team. Probably not the whole team, but at least gives herself more healing, maybe, possibly. But some type of healing HP related ability definitely looks like is part of her kit. She also has a really high rate of fire for a rocket launcher, maybe even a full auto kind of thing like Red Hood had with her sniper rifle. The developer said that Cinderella has a mechanic that is quote-unquote fundamentally different from other Nikkes, and a unique basic attack mechanism. So again, I think this is going to be totally different than any other normal rocket launcher. We'll have to see exactly how this works. I'm definitely excited for it. Some people in my community were speculating about possibly Cinderella being another multi-burst unit like Red Hood. Looks like they didn't go that route, but they still wanted to give her something really cool and unique. So maybe we can count on this. Every year, we're going to get some totally different thing that other Nikkes don't have. It says that they wanted to do something different like they did for Red Hood last year. So, we'll see exactly what this is like, but it looks like she's really rapid firing for a rocket launcher. Let me know in the comments below how you think this unique mechanic is going to function, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on how that works. But anyway, let's move on to the next unit. I mean, I think Cinderella is definitely the one that we all knew was coming, the one we were most excited for. I'm a huge fan of Cinderella, but let's see what else we're getting. We are getting a free Rapunzel. Now, I know this is actually disappointing some people. Some people wanted her to be the anniversary unit, and they're worried that she's not going to be really good because she's a free unit. Now, she's probably not going to be super amazing, Cinderella level power, right? Because she is a handout unit. But remember, when Small White was the handout unit, she was still actually a really good unit. Not the super top tier, but I actually used her in some raids. She was a legitimately strong unit. So hopefully we get a really useful unit from Rapunzel. She's a Burst 1 defender, Iron type. So basically what she was before, except now she is a sniper rather than a rocket launcher. And it says her burst makes a fortified shield for allies. So we don't know exactly what fortified means, but I think it's probably the fact that she heals or heals her shield rather, because it says while maintaining full charge, she heals the shield and buffs allies' attack. So she's gonna buff attack, which is definitely what we want from burst ones, right? And the fact that she can heal the shield somehow is something really unique that we've never seen before. This sounds interesting and like a potentially brand new mechanic, because I mean, I've never seen wording like this. So I don't know if this means like every full charge shot she does will heal the shield, or as long as you're like holding the charge and like in that like full charge state, she's healing the shield. I don't know. This is really interesting. This is really kind of like got my imagination going, and I'm excited to see exactly how this works. And I'm glad that we're getting Rapunzel for free. I mean, it would have been cool to see her as the anniversary unit, but that means we're going to get something else really cool for, I mean, not anniversary, for New Year's, you know? And I think getting a free SSR is something that they want to do for these big 1-year anniversary things. And I don't know, there's kind of like a breakup in the pattern here, because we had our previous like old version of like, you know, young Snow White for anniversary handout unit, but then we got young Scarlet as like you know, a big gotcha unit, you know, that was for New Year's. And now we're back to the free unit thing for Rapunzel. So I don't know, I guess there's no like particular pattern here, but let me know your thoughts on free Rapunzel as well, because that is probably the first thing that I've seen a lot of chatter on online that isn't necessarily all positive. All right, we also are getting Grave. Now, this was a big surprise to me. I was not expecting to get Grave for this anniversary event. I thought they would hold off on releasing her. She's a unit, again, that I think is really cool, one of my personal favorites. Both Cinderella and Grave are really, really, really cool units in my opinion, and I thought they would save her for like maybe like 2.5 year anniversary, or maybe do her on New Year's, but we're going to get her right now. She is a burst 2 support fire with an AR, and it says she enhances her health through normal attacks and buffs allies after that have Pierce. So it looks like a really offensive support. Enhancing herself through normal attacks must be something to do with like maybe like attack count stacks her buffs. Also going to increase allies' Pierce attacks, or at least, you know, give them some kind of buff as long as they have Pierce attacks. This is probably going to be really useful, because we have a lot of super powerful Pierce units, right? Like Red Hood, Alice, Snow White, etc. So anytime we're buffing Pierce, that's going to be really, really good. And yeah, I'm excited to see exactly what she does. And I think her being a burst 2 is a little tough, because that burst 2 support kind of role is really, really crowded right now. But Grave is one of my favorite characters, so I'll probably be fitting her in no matter what, and I'm sure she's going to be good. Like, they're not going to make her bad, right? Like, as an anniversary unit, even though Cinderella is like, you know, the main unit, they're going to make Grave really strong too, I promise you that. And it says her burst deals powerful Pierce attacks and strengthens the buffs for allies, or strengthens the allies with buffs. Plus applies buffs when her burst skill ends. So that's kind of cool, something we haven't really seen. So apparently she's gonna, like, you know, strengthen buffs during her burst and then add some extra buffs when her burst ends. So I don't know if that's gonna be like, you know, at the end of full burst, so you still kind of like keep that momentum going, or just she does one quick burst attack and then during full burst you kind of have those buffs still after her attack. We'll see. Again, we don't know exactly how that works, but she's pretty cool. Also, it looks like she has some kind of healing or HP related skill as well, because we can kind of see the symbol over here. So don't know exactly what that's going to be, but I'm interested, and you know, anytime a unit has any type of survivability, it's going to be good. All right, so moving on from the units, you know, I think, you know, that's the most hype thing we can talk about, right? But people are already upset about too many units, okay? So let's talk about like why people are upset. This is why we can't have nice things, right? Like Shift Up gives us something cool, and then you know, people are fussy anyway. So they're upset about too many units and skins to buy. Now, it's understandable to feel the strain. I get it. You know, there are collectors out there that want to get everything, and there's like a ton of content. You know, it started with like the Ava collab with like having the 3 limited time units and like a bunch of mission passes, and some people just felt like that was too much. But you know, more content is also great. And, you know, I'd like to focus on the positive aspects. I will not be getting everything. I'll tell you that. Even with the generous donations, I have an anniversary fund saved up that viewers gave me specifically to spend on anniversary. We'll get into skins in a second here. There are some of those that I'm just going to skip just because. But I think it's cool. We have choices, and having a lot of units is cool. We're getting one free unit, and so having 2 gacha units is like not that bad, I think. You know, there are some people that are probably gonna have to choose between Cinderella or Grave, and you know, probably almost all those people are gonna go for Cinderella. You know, but keep in mind, these aren't limited time units. We don't know if Grave is a pilgrim or not. She probably won't be. So, you know, maybe she just ends up being on the wish list for some players. But I don't know. I think the more stuff, the better. And if we have to make some choices, I'm okay with that. But I do understand, you know, why some people are feeling like this is a lot, because, you know, there is a lot of content. There's many costumes coming, and it's only like a month after we got like a million things from Ava, and then, you know, other cool things in between already. So I get it. Let me know if you're feeling the strain, if you feel like this is too much or not, or if you're just okay with it. We're keeping on, we're getting a lot of extra polls here for Anniversary 2, which I think is something that people might forget. We're getting a lot of free resources. So I don't know. We'll talk about that in a second, but let me know your thoughts on how many units and skins that we're getting. So also, they talked about the new event. So, of course, we're going to get a big anniversary event, right? Like last year, it was Red Ash. This time, it is Old Tales. And it will take, it'll kind of be like a backstory for Cinderella. And it's going to take place between Red Ash and Overzone. So Overzone was kind of like when we really learned a lot about Dorothy and the original Goddess Squad. And that was for 6-month anniversary. And then Red Ash was obviously focused on Red Hood, and that was our last 1-year anniversary event. So this is going to take place in between there, and we'll learn a lot more about Cinderella. Now, let's take a look at the skins. We got some good ones. These are definitely high-quality skins, even though I did say I'm going to be skipping some of those. They're hot. So we got one for Isabelle. Isabelle fans, rise up. I know there's some of you out there. I particularly have one that loves her in my community. And this is a good skin. I think she already had a really good design. She was a really cool, you know, from a design perspective, a really cool unit from launch. But she's getting an extra skin, similar to like how Haran got an extra skin last year, I guess. Although Haran also had a really cool design originally. Isabelle looks like she's trying to be your literal waifu. I will maybe pick this one up. You know, we can cross our fingers that the treasure for Isabelle actually makes her strong, but I don't know. Maybe Isabelle is cool to put in the lobby again because of the skin. I might get it. You know, passes are always a good deal anyway as far as value proposition goes, so I'll probably go and pick this up. Then we have a skin for Double D. Now, I was also a really big fan of Double D's original design. I don't know if I'll actually use this skin. I'll probably end up buying it again just because like passes are a great deal. I do want to get the cool anniversary stuff, you know, and this skin looks really good, but I'm not sure if it's really like that much of an upgrade over her normal skin. So I'm kind of a little conflicted on which one of these I'm going to use, but either way, this is definitely a really good skin, and I can see a lot of people wanting to use this one for sure. And then we're getting 2 more skins, and these are gacha skins, okay, which are inherently controversial, but we are getting a Black Shadow Scarlet gacha skin. I will not be picking this up. It is a good skin. It's got a lot of physics going on, like a lot of physics, and it looks good. Just overall, it is good quality. It gets a unique burst animation, of course, but I'm a huge fan of her original design. I think Black Shadow Scarlet is one of the coolest units in the game, just from like a visual perspective. She's one of my favorites, actually. I feel like I don't talk about her enough, but original Black Shadow Scarlet is super cool, and so I'm not going to pick this up, but I don't blame you if you do. Like, the kimono design does look really good. And then Cinderella is also getting the gacha skin. This is another one I will not be picking up. And honestly, I feel like this one isn't really that amazing. I'm sure there's a lot of people going to get it just because, and again, it does get that unique burst skill animation. But I don't know, I think her original design is so good, and I really think it's superior as opposed to this like dress that she has, which does look good. She looks nice, don't get me wrong, but I just think her original design is so strong. It's cooler, you know. It's a lot more unique, and I'm probably just going to stay away from that gacha skin. Anyway, so moving on from the skins, we're also getting a new boss. We're going to get Behemoth. She looks badass, but it kind of gave me flashbacks to fighting Train, which I don't know how to feel about that. The devs said that this is the first boss that was designed entirely in 3D, which is kind of interesting. So they're probably really pushing the engine here for Nikke. They said there were some unique challenges to doing that. I think that's really cool. I think the dev team deserves a lot of credit for continuing to try and push high quality content in a lot of ways that they really probably wouldn't even have to. But anyway, Behemoth is really cool. She's one of my favorite heretics. She's probably my second favorite one after Nihilister. So I'm excited to fight her and see what that is like. We're also getting a mini game called In the Mirror, and they say it's a maze-like world. This is like a Metroidvania kind of thing. I have fond memories as a kid playing Metroid games on like Game Boy. And I got a really old original Metroid for Game Boy, which I didn't have an original Game Boy, but like I got like a secondhand like OG Metroid game that was like crazy hard for me when I was like 8 years old or whatever, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool game. It's what originally got me into playing Metroid games. And then when I was a little bit older, I played like Metroid Prime on GameCube and stuff like that. But anyway, so I'm excited for this. I think that's going to be really cool. And the devs even said they're not even sure they can call these like quote unquote mini games anymore, because we're just getting like really high quality games within games here. This one, we'll see how good it is, but I could see this one potentially ending up being my favorite. Before that, Memory of Goddess was my favorite. I think a lot of people agree with that, and I could see this one rivaling that one in popularity. I don't know. I'm definitely super excited for it. Anyway, we're also getting a main story upgrade. So we're going to get chapters 33 and 34. Hopefully you guys are caught up. If you're a newer player, just keep pushing that campaign. And the story is crazy. Just you guys are in for a treat, and I'm excited to see what happens in chapter 33 and 34. Other random update stuff. So a new arcade for mini games. It looks like we're going to get some new interface where maybe we can access multiple old mini games. We didn't get a lot of specifics on this, but I'm excited for it. We're also getting new lost sectors. That generally comes when we get like a new campaign chapter, so not surprised about that. Maybe that means we're going to get a new cube as well. Speculation, just no word on that. We're also getting new tribe tower floors, so if you were someone that really pushed that and you ran out, we're going to get some new ones added to that. And then 2-time rewards for interception and sim room every weekend. So during this whole event, we're going to get the full birthdays, but I don't know, maybe this means literally every weekend. I want to say this is probably just only during the anniversary event, right? But we'll see. Either way, I'm happy for it. Double rewards is something that will be greatly appreciated by players everywhere. And then increased daily mission rewards. So we've seen this before. We'll get like kind of like extra rewards on top of just, doing your random dailies. So that's cool. Don't forget to claim all those once that starts. And we are getting skill resets for a limited time. So this is really important and something that maybe newer players aren't all that familiar with. So we will get a limited time period where we can use these little skill resets. So if there is a unit that you no longer use, or you kind of messed up on, or you just needed to build to push things at the beginning, but now you have better units, you can reset those skills and get all those materials back. Or maybe there's even someone that you pushed all the way to 10 and you're like, that was kind of a waste, I'm still using them, but maybe I'll scale that back and only put them to 10. You can reset them, rebuild that a little bit, and then have extra resources to do something with new units, right? So skill resets are a very valuable thing, but just remember that's only going to be during a limited time frame, so don't let those sit there. You'll be able to keep the items, but then you may not be able to use them again for another X amount of months, so just keep that in mind. All right, there's also, this is really exciting. So a pity, a new system for normal recruit, a pity for Naga, Alice, and Leader, which are some of the most useful units in the game. This is going to be extremely valuable for new players and, good for anybody, honestly, unless you've already max cored these. So every 100 pulls, you can get a copy of either Naga, Alice, or Leader up to 6 times, it looks like. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but, so I don't know if that means you can get 6 copies of each, or if, you just do 6 of whichever one you want, and then you don't get to do that anymore. But so that would be after 600 total pulls, then you wouldn't get to choose from these units anymore. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, this is really, really valuable. And I will probably be getting copies of Naga here, because I have Alice only like 2. I think she's at core 5, and then my leader is already core 6. So Naga is going to be the one that's going to be the most valuable for me. All right, other cool random stuff. They announced like stuff with like developer conversations and merch and stuff. We'll get into a second. Before we got that, we got this little treat.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah, breaking commander figures. All right. Anyway, well, like shift up is wild. Anyway, we got some messages from voice actors, so that was kind of cool. I know a lot of people are big fans of voice actors. It's something that I don't really follow, but that was, these kind of things are always part of these anniversary live streams, so cool to see that. Also, from the artist of the new song, her mask is cool. I don't know anything about the actual artist though. And then in the developer conversation, they talked about a lot of random stuff, but I'll just bring out a few like highlights, a few bullet points that I thought was interesting. They said that during this new story or new chapters, like kind of going forward, we are going to see the second gen Grimm's models. So they were created a long time ago, just like the original Goddess Squad, the original Grimm's models, but they are even stronger, kind of made with newer, upgraded tech, and they will be focused more on so-called human traits rather than like the tragic story like the first generation. So I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe we're going to be taking a step away from the grim dark, or we're just going to get more like interpersonal interactions. Maybe that means that these more human-like characters will be able to be convinced to like come over to the side of the Nikkes. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts what this means. But they seem to think that this was kind of a significant shift in the story. They also said the 4 beast heretics have more human elements, so similar to like what they said about the new Grimm's models. And human elements to them, they're going to be more human than like Nihilister and Indivilia, the previous heretics that we've seen. And it said this could take the story in an entirely new direction. So again, I'm curious to know what that means. Are they going to rebel against the Queen? Are they going to start their own agenda? Or are we just going to see more like interactions between like those 4 heretics? Whereas like Indivilia and Nihilister were very like, solo operator, lone wolf kind of things. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on what you think that is getting at, or what that means for the story going forward, because they made a point of this. Like, it wasn't like a passing remark. So it seems like there's going to be some kind of significant shift here. They also trolled us with saying that people wanted to see Train come back more. Like, of all bosses that we want to see new forms for, Train, really? I don't know. I don't think so. But Shift Up's got jokes. They also announced a live concert, so I'll be interested to see more information on that, or if it's like going to have any like local appearances that I could go to. I think that's really cool. We've seen this for some games that are known for high quality music and stuff, like Nier. They had like live concert tour, and it's cool to see this happening for Nikke. I'm really interested to see what happens with this. I want to see more IRL events for Nikke, so this is really, really cool to see. And then we are getting a ton of tickets. So some are specific polls for units, like a daily free poll. We're getting some rainbow tickets. We're getting some blue tickets. This is a lot of free resources, so thank you, Shift Up. I definitely appreciate it. This is going to help us, try and get all the things that we want. And this is a great way to treat your players here on the 2nd anniversary of your game. Also, really quick, we're getting to the end here, but we got CD codes, so make sure you redeem those if you haven't already. A lot of you guys probably already did it just like while watching the live stream. We got like 3 or 4 of those. They're on the screen here. You can see them. And a lot of unique rewards, so make sure you go ahead and redeem those ASAP. Okay, so a couple of other random things that I wanted to note that I'm not sure if everybody noticed, that I haven't seen people talking about. There are new alternates for Emma, Yunhua, and Vesti. Like, did you guys see this? This was like a really quick clip during one of the story things when it was talking about Rappy, and I don't know if this means we're going to get these units really soon, or if these are skins. I hope they're new versions of the units. I really hope they are. Or if they'll just be like, in NPC jail in the story for a long time. But these are really cool. Yunhua is actually looking really good there. Emma looks as good as ever, and Vesti's got a cool new like cloak kind of thing. So I don't know. Alternates of Emma, Yunhua, and Vesti kind of has me hyped. I'm excited for it. Let me know your thoughts on that. I just want to make sure I pointed that out in case anybody didn't notice that. Also, something I was kind of surprised about, no treasure unit announced. So I wasn't expecting us to get a new treasure unit for Anniversary, but I thought they would talk about what the next one was, but that was just radio silence. So nothing on new treasures. We'll have to wait for a later announcement. Maybe we'll talk about that when there's like specific things for like New Year's event or something like that. I don't know. And then another thing, guys, guess what else we didn't hear about? You guys know what I'm going to say already. There was zero mention of Champions Arena. Are they just going to let this quietly die and just like pretend that this never happened? I mean, I get that they probably didn't want to pull any focus from the excitement of second anniversary, but just Champions Arena, it's dead, guys. It's not happening. It's like, it's just crazy how long this has been and how they're like, we're supposedly working on it, delays, and then yeah, just no mention of this at all. I would have been pretty hyped actually if that actually happened. But yeah, no Champions Arena. And then, okay, so this wasn't even part of the live stream, but out of nowhere, we got this random character, Abe, here. And she's just like on one of their like official shorts. And I think she's posted on Twitter now too. I have no idea who this character is. Just kind of like dropped us on it. And like she kind of looks like a researcher. And they're like, is she a human? Is she a Nikke? Find out soon. So I don't know how she's going to come into play, if she's going to be part of the anniversary event, or if, you know, like we'll learn something about her in like Cinderella's backstory, or if she's going to be a new character in chapters 33 and 34, or what. I don't know. It's really random. The fact that like right after the anniversary live stream, we got this random character, but they didn't talk about her in the live stream at all. And she's kind of just like a really unassuming design look to her. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on Abe, and if you're excited for her, what your predictions are for her, how she's going to fit into any of this. I don't know. Anyway, so it's been a bit of a long video, I know, but this was a lot of content to cover, and this was a really good live stream, guys. Nikke is in a great place, despite, you know, people are always going to have critiques of things, right? That's just like how things are. But I'm really excited. All right, subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you're like a new viewer. I appreciate you guys coming through. The algo's probably got you hooked up, but for a smaller channel like mine, it makes a huge difference every little sub that I get. So I would appreciate that. Give the video a like, and most of all, just thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video or stream.